we are at COSSA out east of Bend, and we're here for a regional match. And this is going to be a Palma match, so we'll be shooting at 800, 900, and 1,000. I'm currently standing at the 1,000-yard line. And you can see if we look up here, there's the 900, then the 800, and so on. We shoot on electronic targets here, and thought I'd just take you through what this match looks like. So next time you see me, we'll be setting up for the 800 portion of the Palma.
All right, here we are at the 800-yard line. Anything is possible at this point.
800 did not go as planned, and I'd be lying if I said that it just isn't a little crushing, because 800 is probably the easiest target to shoot because you're shooting a 1,000-yard target at 800 yards, so you have every advantage possible. And it really hurts to drop points, and it happens. You can see here clearly something's out of tune with my load, and I've done a bunch of testing. It should have performed better, but shoulda, coulda, woulda. And you can see here I used all the real estate of the 10 ring plus a little out here on the 9. It is what it is, but it's disappointing. So I'm going to make a little adjustment, and then we are going to see what happens at 900. Now, I will say the thing that makes this all the worst is that conditions were just lay down flat. No wind, no mirage, literally take your shots, and it really wasn't that difficult. So let's see what happens by the time we get to 900. I have a feeling the wind will pick up. It usually does here, and we'll go from
particularly.
All right, here we are at 900.
Particularly like standing.
Wind's picking up a little bit.
There's not much stability in any little clenching.
Slight adjustment to my ammo. I normally don't do this, but I went back and seated them just a little deeper. And, if you look here, you can see that this water line is really tightened up. Now, I still threw a high 6 or a high 9 here, number 6, and, came out right here. Still not great, but overall this water line is much better, and I obviously got caught on a wind call over here. So, the wind definitely was picking up a little bit. It still was very manageable, and there's still no reason I should have dropped these 3 points. However, it happens again, and I'm clearly shooting in a situation where I'm not dealing with optimal ammo right now, and just the way it is. But all I can do is try to improve the situation, and I do feel like what I did made an improvement. Let's see what happens when we get to the 1,000-yard line. Okay, 1,000 yards. Wind's picking up. Flags are definitely moving more. Here we are at 1,000, and again, a little bit of a mess. Sort of goes with the theme for the day. Most of it kept in a fairly decent water line. We had a little high here, but a lot of it kept under control. But again, just really weird conditions. And, I think more than anything, what I was missing was clearly I was missing some quartering winds that were just pushing me out that I just couldn't see. Everything appeared to be a straight across left to right. And, it would switch once in a while, and it did move pretty fast when it did, which is, it's typical for this range. But, again, these are just dumb mistakes that I should not have made, especially this 7 out here. I wish I could tell you why this one happened. The weirder part is that if you look at the progression here, we have 8 over here. So I was probably holding, if I remember right, I was holding right about here. It went out a little bit. So I came out a little bit more, which then brought me into a nice 10. I followed it up with another hold out here, which put it here. And, I know I came in on shot 11, and yet it still turned that fast. So what that's telling me is that the wind for shots 8 and then 9 especially, the wind was still moving in a left to right position. I missed the turn for 10, and it turned very hard and fast to the point where even with a mild adjustment, which I thought would be enough, I still got blown way out to this 7. So, disappointing. Certainly 13 isn't something I'm proud of dropping on a 15-shot Palma, but these are the realities of matches, so there you go. All right, so here we are with the second 1,000-yard of the day in the last one. And, you know, the winds are a little stronger, but a little more consistent right now. That last 1,000 relay definitely was pretty switchy. But, you know, the winds are building, but the flags and the mirage are both showing that it's a lot more consistent. So we'll see what this one brings. The score, it doesn't look better, but trust me when I tell you that this was actually the best target of the relay. So this is the fourth match of the day. The winds had gotten significantly stronger, and despite what I said in the video ahead of this, where it looked like it was building but keeping consistent, that was true as I was watching the previous relay, and then it started to just get very, very erratic during our relay, and it was turning quite a bit, and it was turning very fast. And I'll give you a perfect example with this number 2 shot out here. So if you look at my sighter here, which is hard to see, but sighter 13 is right here, and then I went for record, and then I shot right here, which was a 10, so a little high, but shot a 10. And then I did the exact same hold, which I was holding, I think I was holding right about here on 2 lines left at that time. I shot a 1, shot the 10 on number 1, held here again, and that quickly, within a matter of, you know, from the time I saw the record score 10 come up here, I instantly took another shot, and I got blown all the way out to the 7. Now, this exact scenario happened to the gentleman on my left and on the right. They had both been right in the 10 and X ring, and just like me, within a matter of 30 seconds of my shot, one way or the other, had been blown out. One guy was up here with a high 7, one was a mid 7, and then I had mine at a low 7. So something switched very, very hard on it. Now, what I did in this situation, because you can see here, you know, I was feeling okay. Like, it was tough. Like, this was tough to get a read on. I did X9X, felt like I had a good read on it, shot the 10, and then came into this 7. I instantly got off the gun, you know, kept the bolt open, just kept watching through my scouting scope, and literally forced myself to wait at least a minute before I made a decision, because I didn't want to make a bad decision worse by rebounding. Like, when you shoot this far out and you don't know why, or you didn't see the pickup come, you don't want to overcorrect and then lose a worse shot. So I held off, I waited, I looked for the condition that I knew I had shot these in to come back. And at this point, it had been close to 3 minutes by the time I took this number 3 shot right here. And I was holding right about here, about 2.5 lines out, and felt pretty good. And to be honest, when you get in a situation like this and you're buying back in without the benefit of sighters or anything like that, I will take a 9 any day of the week. So I felt really good about that. You can see that then I picked up a nice string going along, and, you know, made a couple mistakes again through this high up here. Chances are that was ammo related. There was really nothing atmospheric that should have done that. But on the upside, you can see that it kept a pretty decent water line for being out of tune and not being an ideal load. Even this 2 was still in the right water line. I just really screwed up the wind call. So I felt really good about this. 15 points down was actually the best score for this relay. Another gentleman dropped 20, someone else dropped 25. So I felt really good about it. And that's how you have to look at this. It was a good way for me to end the day. Certainly I try to shoot clean. Who doesn't? But clean isn't always going to happen. And clean doesn't happen a lot, especially at tricky ranges. And so you have to understand that, you know, it's kind of like the old adage. You don't have to run faster than the bear. You just have to run faster than the guy behind you. And that's a lot of what shooting a match is about. You don't have to shoot perfect scores. You just have to be that much better than the guys behind you or above you to move yourself up or down. And it doesn't take much to do either, but you know, I feel good about this. I'm happy with how I finished on the day, and I think given the conditions that we were facing, this was a very favorable outcome, and again, a good way to end the day. So hope you enjoyed watching this. I am going to go ahead and do this tomorrow as well, so you get to see how this match ends. At this point, I am in second place. I'm 3 points behind the leader, and we'll see what tomorrow brings.